No way. So I was talking all that time and no sound. Yeah, that's horrendous. That is horrendous. Apologies for that. Let's have to run that back because the mic was on my computer, but yeah, the mic itself was off. Apologies, apologies, apologies. But um, yeah, guys, I was basically just saying welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's well. Good morning to everyone who's come on board. Hope everyone is well. Okay, it's working now. Good, good, good. So yeah, I hope everyone's well this Tuesday morning. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss out on any uploads in future. Check out Elevate Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Discount opportunities will be available over there, so make sure you go check it out. We'll go through some yen pairs because there have been some big movements across the board on those. We'll take a look at oil for Jason. We'll go through gold as well. Dark Sean, yep, 100%. JPY was very, very bullish. Pound JPY is very, very bullish. I'm still looking to short. I was taking out my trade, but I'm still looking to short. So hopefully I can find a re-entry at the high, but we'll go over that in detail. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, apologies for that because I probably spent a good 3-4 minutes just speaking to myself there. But yeah, the JPY pairs were very, very bullish. I was in a short position on pound yen and I was taken out off the back of this candle here this morning. So it has come into my second area, 193.5. So this is kind of the area which I'm expecting prices sell off from. If it does go and break through this and we see a big breakout, I'll probably hold off with my bearish bias. Because at that point, maybe I was wrong with the short bias, at least for now, with the yen pairs, and maybe they want to climb higher. So I'm looking for price now hold into this area. Sure, we might wick through, we might spike above. I'm not expecting a pinpoint reversal, but more or less, I don't want to see price start trending and give me some higher highs and higher lows above this area because that's a big red flag. Maybe price could be doing a really big pullback, but at that point, because of all of this momentum, I kind of just expect us to spill over. So 193.5 is my next area of interest, which we're trading in right now. So I want to see some nice rejection down the 4 hour, bearish engulfing, some wicks, all of that will be very, very nice. And if I see that, I will look for a second entry, stops above the high, and again, a similar target as well. Risk reward looks really, really good should it play out. So it's definitely an opportunity which I want to miss out on. But I'm still very bearish on pound yen. Look and see if you can get that top and look and see if you can respect the high. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that one. But as we can see, momentum is still very bullish. All the yen pairs kind of pushed up together. CAD yen, New Zealand yen, Euro yen, all pushing up pretty strong. Again, my bias is still very much bearish. Just maybe I jumped the gun a little bit and got involved a bit too early. But if I can see another entry, I will go for it. We'll go through oil and gold. Again, any markets, just drop it down in the chat. We'll go through some more yen pairs as well. Dollar yen, yep, we'll take a look. Aussie yen as well, we'll take a look. Elmi, good afternoon, hope you're well. CAD yen, we'll go through as well. The Paro long Aussie New Zealand dollar, how's that? Okay, I'll go take a look. GJ was breaking my rules, as we know. Yeah, you did mention yesterday to even to enter. Yeah, I mean, again, that's the rules you got to respect. Excuse me. Once you have those rules in place, it's up to you to respect them. And every time you do, pat yourself on the back because that's where the consistency comes from. But yeah, in terms of the yen pairs, we've seen a lot of momentum over the past 24 hours. But for me, the high time frame is still very bearish, especially with the drop we had not long ago. So I'm looking for that next lower high to come into place. Some look better than others. Pound yen looks the best to me, so that's kind of where my focus will be concentrated at. In terms of CAD yen, I don't mind as well. I had two areas which, again, look good to short. The area which price is breaking through right now. So we had some nice rejection there. Yesterday, all the yen pairs were looking bearish together, really rejecting some nice areas. So no matter which yen pair you were looking to short yesterday, if you were looking to short, it didn't play out. But you can see prices now breaking back above that. So maybe you're going to see some more upside there for CAD yen. The next area which I would look to short from would be close to 109. As we come back to this area and then look to see some downside from there, because now that we've broken above that, I'll be flipped to support. 105 is already acting as support as well. So yeah, with CAD Yen, the only area which looks fit, at least for my plan, would be around the 109 area and looking for a retest of that resistance for some sells. I'm still pretty bearish long term for CAD Yen. I do think there's a lot of downside to be had. Again, looking at the higher time frames, we're back in that area where we could be forming another major lower high. So there could be another drop like that longer term. Of course, we're not necessarily looking for that move, but the possibility is there, the potential is there. So if this trend really wants to get going, it can do. But yeah, I just don't want to see price breaking above that high. If it starts breaking above that high, again, it doesn't necessarily mean it can't go bearish, but it's a bit of a red flag, especially if you start putting some higher highs and higher lows in. That's to me definitely that price is probably going to push higher. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with CAD Yen. So now that we're breaking through 106, 106.5, 109 is where I'm looking to sell from. And there might be some buys in between that, especially intraday, because we're just seeing higher highs and higher lows with a lot of momentum. So there could be some nice pullbacks intraday, and something like that could be a nice opportunity as we keep up with all of these higher lows. So if you're on the lower time frames, that's probably the way to go. Of course, it will take some time to get to 109 and then get the sell. That's more of a longer term view and a bigger swing trade. But if you're on the shorter time frames, that's more of a more immediate term opportunity to take advantage of. But yeah, momentum, at least in the low time frames, is looking really good. Aussie Yen, similar situation here as well. I'm looking for the shorts here for Aussie Yen. It's very similar to Pound Yen in terms of I just don't want price to be breaking above that high. And that's where I'm looking to short from. So if Aussie Yen was trading at that level, I'll be probably looking at Aussie Yen just as much as Pound Yen. They both look really good, both coming to some nice areas. If they do respect it, the risk reward looks really good there as well. So the trade is definitely worth taking. And if it does play out, you're looking at a phenomenal trade there. So if Aussie Yen can push a little bit higher to 99.8, basically 100, that's kind of where I'll be focused for some shorts. We're not quite there yet, so not really focused on that pair just yet. But if we can get there, reject that level, I'll be more than happy to play some shorts. Of course, depends what I'm doing with Pound Yen, but if I'm not trading Pound Yen, then yeah, Aussie Yen looks good at that high as well. I'm looking for this swing to the downside. It's a pretty big move, but yeah, that's kind of the move I'm looking for here with these yen pairs. In terms of dollar yen still kind of trading this descending channel, pushing to the upper end of it. Again, I gave out two areas where I think shorts look good. Either the retest of this area for a sell, or we break out a little bit higher and we look for a sell up here. At the moment, price is coming back for another retest. So if the price was to give us another bearish engulfing, some more wicks, that could look like a nice short. If we break out, then I'm looking at 147 for some sells, which again has some nice confidence on the daily chart. Again, I'm looking for another lower high because, again, with dollar yen, we've come back into a big low here around 141. And now I'm looking for price to bounce, give us that lower high and some follow through to the downside. So it just depends how far will we bounce. You know, will it be to here? Will it be even up to 152? That's a possibility as well. But that's kind of what I'm looking at longer term. So for now, momentum still looks to be in favor of the buyers. If you see a strong break, then at least 147 is where I expect price to get to next before some sells could look good. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar yen. It's been interesting in terms of USD as well. We did see a bit of USD weakness yesterday. I was keeping a look at, keeping an eye on the DXY. We did see some weakness. I think, yeah, this is where we sold off from. Bit of retracement kind of out of session hours. But this morning, dollar's looking really bearish. Really bearish. So I'm wondering if we've got this smaller consolidation within the larger consolidation, and maybe price is on its way to have another retest at that low. And maybe this time we might get the break. If we get the break, if that's so, then I'm looking at 99.6 as the next target for dollar. But so far, we're still in the range, so I'm not going to jump the gun. We very much could come back into the low and bounce again. But yeah, maybe we might get the breakout. So I'll keep an eye on dollars progression. I will go through oil and gold. I have not forgotten. And we'll take a look at Aussie New Zealand dollar as well. Love you here, Rwanda. You motivate me. Lovely. Great to hear. Big fan of Rwanda as well. Whereabouts in Rwanda are you from? Dollar CAD and New Zealand dollar both smashed. Oh yeah, you were selling USD CAD and buying NZUSD yesterday, weren't you? Dollar weakness played into your hands very nicely yesterday, but now no more setups out the market. Fair enough. Done what we need to do, and no need to try and force it and give things back to the market. Morning, Kevin. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. Okay. Okay, trading the DAX in your personal. So completely out of the market. Wow, looking good there, Holy One. Looking good. Ethiopia's treated you nicely. Russ, Swiss yen, best shorts going into the, well, when is that again? Is that Wednesday? Let me have a quick look at the economic calendar. I think the interest rates are Wednesday in the morning. Or if we had, no, that was Aussie we had. Yeah, we had Aussie this morning. We've got Swiss. Nope, we got Swiss on Thursday. So yeah, you're looking for Swiss yen shorts. Okay, so because the Swiss interest rate is expected to fall, so we might be seeing some weakness in the Swiss. So yeah, Swiss yen might be the one to do, especially if that fundamental bias plays out as well. It might mean that Swiss can drop the hardest. I'm still in love with the price action pound yen the most. I do like Swiss yen as well. If Swiss yen is just a little bit higher, I'll probably be looking at Swiss yen over pound yen. There, I'm looking to get involved with Swiss yen as close to the high over here. But yeah, it might mean that Swiss has the biggest fall or the quickest fall at least. So again, with the yen pairs, they're going to move the same. It's just about picking the one that looks the best. Okay, so we'll go through oil and gold before I forget. So oil looking really bullish. Look at that. Had a nice rejection of 71.72, but it didn't hold. Price had a nice reaction, but just formed a higher low and broke through. So it looks like prices, I mean, we haven't closed above it yet, so I won't say we've confirmed it, but if we don't do anything crazy in the next 36 minutes, it does look like price is going to close above pretty strongly. If I'm looking for a break and retest here for oil, I'd like to see price push a little bit further before I look for the retest, because shallow breakouts, from my experience, are quite prone to fake outs. You could easily close above a level just to close back below. The market's not perfect. You know, it won't always respect support and resistance to the T. Sometimes it will break it a little bit above it, a little bit below it before it does, give you the move. So I wouldn't really follow a breakout like that. But if you can see another candle pushing up higher, that gives me a lot more confidence that, okay, price is well and truly broken through this area. So should we pull back and retest it, there's a good chance we'll see a higher low and expect the market to continue. So this could be a really nice buy on the 4 hour, the hourly, maybe even lower as well. But from intraday level, momentum is definitely bullish here for oil, looking pretty good. And if we can keep that up for another few hours, I think, I think this will become the next best opportunity. But we'll see how this closes in 35 minutes, because we could pull back down, or the next candle could do that. But yeah, for a buy, I want to see just a bit more upside before I confirm that bullish bias. But yeah, it's looking like it might be breaking through. I'll see how the next couple candles close, and if they look good, then we could be seeing some more upside for oil. I'll still be wary of these lower highs on the left. We might be pushing up temporarily to do that, so I'd watch out for something like that, but that might take a few days to form anyway. So if you're an intraday level, probably not your concern for the time being, if you're not looking for a crazy target. Okay, where was I? Okay, we'll go through gold. We'll take a look at UNZD. Good morning, Manzoni. Welcome to the stream. CAD Yen, USD CAD in the 4 hour, please. Sure thing. We'll take a look. Big drop yesterday on USD CAD. Just move down time frame to win more as I'm playing the concepts just a little lower down. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get more frequent opportunities, but even the time frame could be more beneficial as well. You might just perform better on a certain time frame as well. So that could be a factor as well. Ben, what's up? We'll take a look at GA for you. No problem. Let me just go through gold, UNZD, dollar CAD, and CAD yen. So with gold, just bullish as always. There's not much to do with gold. I understand if you're in the lower time frames, there might be some intricate opportunities, or maybe the 15-minute or something, trying to catch some swing lows here. So that might be something you're interested in. So I can understand that. But at least from a swing perspective, there's absolutely nothing to do, because we've just seen a lovely swing to the upside, creating some new highs. So if you are a bull in the market, you're a buyer of the market, you're waiting for it to come back down, at least a sufficient amount before you look to buy. And I would say at least something like this is necessary before I would look to buy anyway, around the 25.88, 25.90 area, before I look to entertain any buys. So basically anything here is none of my concern until we get there, and then I'm interested in the price action. Just as I was on the retest here, which of course never happened, but if we can do it there, that'll be fantastic. I'll be looking for the high low, and again, just looking to take advantage of that bullish momentum with gold. If you're intraday, then of course you might be looking at some of these minor higher lows that the market's forming. In fact, if I drop to 30, that might be the best time frame. So you can see the market is pretty consistent with these higher lows. Respect the low there, respect the low there. So possibly could be seeing another push to the upside there for gold. So that could be what you're looking at. I can understand that. But on my time frames, I'm looking for a bigger correction at some point. And we are becoming a bit more corrective now. So I do expect that retracement to happen at some point. Maybe we have one more push up. Maybe we tap into 2650 first, but I'm looking for that bigger pullback at some point. But yeah, I'm only bullish. I would only be looking at buys, even the lower time frames as well. I'd only be looking at buys for gold. If we do start breaking structure and pushing down low, I'll say this is also a nice place for a buy as well. If this doesn't hold, then yeah, we probably are going for a bigger correction. So see what we're doing here around 26, 24. If it doesn't hold, I'd say this is the next best area. If that doesn't hold as well, then yeah, we probably are going for a bigger correction. So at that point, 25.88 becomes the next best area. But I'm just looking to take those buys, take advantage of that momentum, because who knows, gold might go on another crazy run. And before we know it, we're talking about 2,700, 2,800. Gold has that potential to just fly. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be looking at gold intraday and kind of swing. Let me know what you guys are looking at for gold, but for me, it's just, and I understand some people will be looking for some sells because it's had a big move, so you're looking to try and take advantage of that retracement. I think it's very difficult to do in these conditions. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with gold. I'll go through Euro NZD, then I'll take a look at dollar CAD. So Euro NZD, last time I looked at this one, we're looking pretty bearish. Yeah, we're looking pretty bearish. I remember breaking at that range yesterday, and we kind of kept falling for the rest of the day. Bit of a bullish move this morning, but I wouldn't be shocked by that. Yeah, I would still expect a bit more downside back into the low around 1.766. I said yesterday a retest of this area would be nice for a retest, or if price was to come back into the range there, that of course would be a nice for a retest. Didn't happen, but it still could happen. Price may find a bit of support here. We have closed pretty bullish there in the 4 hour. That might take us back to this area for a sell. Again, who knows? But I would say that's the most attractive area for a short now for UNZD. Really confident break to the downside. A lot of momentum in those sells. If I was on the hourly or the 30-minute, I'd be looking to see where can I place my shorts to continue this ride to the downside. And that to me looks like the most attractive place, at least from 1.782 onwards. So yeah, UNZD shorts look good. I would still expect us to get to the daily low here. I mean, there's a good possibility we get all the way down here, which is 1.74. So I think there's a good chance we can come back to this support. But I think for now, we'll just talk about this one though. This one there, most realistic and most feasible there, especially if you're on an intraday level. Probably not going to target that level outright. So if you can see some pullbacks to there, look for the next lower high. Shorts back into the low. Looks like a nice opportunity. Trying to catch that next lower high there. Something like that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Euro NZD. If you can get some pullbacks, that would be nice. I'll go through dollar CAD. So dollar CAD was really bearish. I don't know. Was CAD bullish? Was CAD? Was CAD bullish yesterday? I didn't think. I mean, Euro CAD did fall pretty hard, but Euro is pretty weak. Aussie CAD not much. New Zealand CAD not much. Pound CAD a little bit. Yeah, I think dollar was just pretty weak because Euro kind of turned around a little bit. But yeah, dollar CAD was melting out the sky. So at one point, clearing out the low here. I said yesterday a retest of this area might be the next best opportunity because I didn't really like the breaking retest of the low here. I thought it was quite awkward and I didn't like how price was moving. So I said if we can get the next breaking retest, it might be a little bit cleaner. And it kind of came around pretty quickly, strong break, and looked like it kind of came around out of session as well. So the retest there happened like 9-10 p.m. UK time. So yeah, the New York session is well and done there. And we're about to come into the Asian session. So not really the best time to be trading dollar CAD anyway. But it looks like we had a bit of a retest there and the market's been slowly falling. So I think for dollar CAD, if we could push up one more time, that would be very much appreciated because that would be the opportunity to find the entries and then see if we can take it back down to the low, which is 1.349, and then possibly, if we're lucky, back down to this low here at 1.344. So yeah, dollar CAD, the bias remains bearish. We've had a nice rejection of that area there. Prior resistance, support, now acting as resistance again. Really strong reaction there on the daily with that bearish engulfing candle. Nice wick to the upside. So to me, there's a really high chance that we get back to the low here at 1.344, especially with the break of this low now, because now we're forming these steps to the downside. High, low, lower, high, low. So expect that to continue to that area there. So yeah, I'm liking dollar CAD shorts. Yeah, the retest came at an awkward time. So if we could pull up again, that would be nice. And then yeah, I'll be expecting price to push into the low. Excuse me. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar CAD. I'll quickly go through CAD yen and I'll take a look at GA after as well. That's it. Need a bit of what's the word? Not motivation, but yeah, someone putting a bit of a fire in your bum to get you pushing out your comfort zone. But yeah, if you're finding confidence and you're finding nice consistency in your trading, put yourself to the test. What's up, Trace Certs, welcome to the stream. Good morning. How do you feel about NAS as of lately? Okay, I'll go and touch on some of the indices as well. Okay, we'll have a look at the PA. First, let me go through CAD Yen and then GA. So with CAD Yen, the price is breaking to the upside here. So as I touched on earlier, I think if you're looking at CAD Yen from an intraday level, I think buyers are the best bet because the market's been pretty consistent with these higher lows here. If I go to the hourly chart, you can see we've been riding this momentum very well and just higher low after higher low after higher low. So if you're looking at trading CAD Yen, I do think there's some more upside to be had. I'm looking to short at this area up here at 109. So there's still a bit of a way to go before we get there. We may not get there, of course, but if we do, there's still a lot of pips to be taken advantage of before the big sell, because I'm looking at a pretty big sell for CAD Yen. But in the meantime, the buys make the most sense since we are breaking through 106, 500. So I'd said earlier, if we can push up a little bit higher, find the next pullback, maybe test the trend line as well, basically use this resistance as support. I think that's a nice place for a buy and continue to ride that momentum to the upside. Don't necessarily have to target 109 as your take profit, but that's the direction I would be aiming for intraday. So for the time being, CAD Yen buys at the best bet. I'm very bearish on the pair, but that's a longer term bias and still would anticipate a bit more upside before that anyway. So I'm not going to speak too much about that until we get there. Then I'll start speaking about the shorts more heavily. But for now, intraday, the buys make the most sense, especially with us breaking above this level here, because now that we're acting as support, that could help take price higher. But CAD Yen looking at some short-term upside. In terms of GA's been a bit awkward. I've been looking to try and buy this one, but the retest just never formed well on the retest of this area because we have been forming these higher lows here. So I'm looking to see if we can keep this up and push back into the high. So that's the move I'm after for pound Aussie. But I haven't really found a nice buy for it. It's been a bit awkward. It's been quite choppy as well. So I haven't found a nice place for an entry and a stop loss, which I'm happy with. I said if it came back down to the low here, then I would have a stab at it, see what we can do at this low, but we haven't quite made that happen yet. So if pound Aussie can do something like this, that could be a nice little trade there to take it back to the upside for a buy. But the price action for me is quite awkward. It looks like a big range. I mean, what's your thoughts, Ben, on pound Aussie? Something like this I would like, or I would prefer at least. Might not necessarily like it. It might be a better trade at the time, but I am expecting pound Aussie to see another push high, at least back to 1.99. Then maybe some sells from then on. But I just haven't found a clean place for a buy. I do think the bigger move is to the upside at the moment. Just not really in love with the PA. If we do sell off for some reason, push down to the low, then I'll have a stab. But that's kind of the only place which looks good, unless we get the breaking me test there. So yeah, that's kind of where I would be with pound Aussie. Okay, so we'll go through now, as I definitely missed out a pair someone has mentioned earlier. Can't remember what it'd be. Aussie New Zealand dollar, the para. There it is. Probably is another one which I've missed out as well. But I'll go take a look at Aussie New Zealand dollar. We'll go through some indices, especially NAS for Trace Certs. Pound CGF ripping higher. Yeah, CGF pairs were pushing higher last time I looked, but we'd see a bit of a pullback this week. I think we will. It might be waiting for the news, but then I don't know if the news, if rates do drop for Swiss, that's not necessarily the best thing, and that might mean more weakness for Swiss, and that could take pound CGF even higher to the upside. So I don't know. It's looking pretty bullish. Maybe price wants to push a lot more. I mean, I'll discuss it in a moment. All right, man, Zondi, no problem. In the exact same analytical sentiment, cool, and emotions in me findings. Okay, cool. Good to see. Good to see. I mean, again, it's a game of patience. Just waiting for the opportunity. First, you do your analysis, then you map out where you want to buy and sell, and the conditions for the buy and sell. Then you wait for those conditions to be met and price to be in your areas where you want to buy and sell. Then you take your trade and you manage it, and that's the process. So if you got the idea, great. Now just wait for it to actually come into reality so we can take some trades. But first, we'll go through Aussie New Zealand dollar because I was supposed to go through that ages ago, and then I'll take a look at NAS. So you said you're looking at some shorts, I believe, Lapara. Forget what your comment said. Oh, you've seen some longs. Okay, I see some longs. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the price action on the Aussie New Zealand dollar just because it's just very messy. There's no kind of clear trend. My best trades occur when there's a clear trend. So the choppier for me, normally the worse. So when it's moving like this, I tend to stay away because the direction is not clear for me. In terms of longs, let me know what time frame you're working on as well. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the price action. I mean, I wouldn't mind some lower time frame buys. So we come back into the low here. There's a chance we could see another push back to the high around there. But that's about it in terms of longs, because on the high time frames, we're throwing a lot of wicks right now where we're trading. So you can see all these wicks here on the daily chart. Not necessarily the best sign for a buyer. If you're intraday bias, not that big of a deal, but it's definitely a sign that from a daily perspective, we're struggling to break past whatever significance is in this area. I think there's a bit of a level there, but the market is struggling to break through this area. So as a buyer, sure, you could take the buy, but you probably want to be flexible with your take profit and understand that by the end of the day, we might just leave another wick in that same area and price pulls back towards your entry. So you want to be taking your profits pretty quickly, or at least protecting your risk and maybe trading your stops, whatever type of management you want to use. But from a lower down perspective on the time frames, we are pretty consistent with the higher lows here. We've been for a while, so I can understand the buys in the lower time frames, and I like where we're trading as well. So I can see price doing something like that. But yeah, as we approach areas like this, you want to be locking in some gains and protecting that trade, because we very much could just shoot right back down, leave another wick on the daily time frame, and maybe price is going to melt to the downside as well. So I think it's not the best location in terms of a buy on the higher time frame. So you want to be in and out the trade pretty quickly. But yeah, hourly, we're trading at a nice area. Maybe if you can have one more stab, that would be nice. Really refine that entry. And then something like that could be a nice little trade for the day, or maybe a couple of days. But yeah, that's kind of what I'll be looking at for Aussie New Zealand dollar if I'm looking to long the pair. But yeah, the daily wicks would scare me a little bit. So I want to stay on my toes for that. Ben, okay, G prime for some upside. I agree. Okay, looking for low target 1.97. Okay, is that the highs over here? Yeah, that's so yeah, I think there's a good chance we can get there. 1.97. It does look like the market is putting in a bottom here, so could push higher. But of course, in terms of entries, this is the area which makes the most sense to me. But if this is going to be a bottom, then maybe you start doing something like this, and maybe you can find an entry somewhere. I think that's where it gets a little bit awkward in my book, because I can't really see a good place for it. But of course, I'm sure you've got a setup that looks good for you and ticks your boxes. Of course, go for it if that's the case. But yeah, it does look like the market's falling in the bottom, and we are continuing with these higher lows as well. So I would agree that there's a good chance we do get to 1.97. And then I'll be looking for push into 1.99. But of course, 1.97 comes first. So yeah, I don't mind that. On pound Aussie. We'll go through NAS. So in terms of US 100, I think we're breaking high. Okay, not quite. I thought we were breaking high, but I mean, we're attempting to anyway. So yeah, NAS is trying to break the high here at 19,900. Trade search, you said consolidating in the same range, bouncing from the resistance. So yeah, I mean, we're trading at daily resistance right now, the swing high. So it's either price is going to break through this or reverse. At the moment, I'll say we're still undecided if price is going to do one or the other. But I think in terms of the opportunities, if we are just going to see price just storm to the upside and you just see a lot of bullish momentum, because I do think that's where price is going back to the high, the all-time high. I think that's where price is heading towards sooner or later. So I'm pretty bullish on NAS. So even if we do have a big sell-off from here, I don't expect us to break the low. I expect us to push up at some point. Maybe we come here, maybe we come halfway. I don't know, but I do expect us to push higher. So if you do see a strong break of this, I would say buys above the high look really good on the retest, and you're looking for a push back into the high there. So that would be the plan for NAS should we see a big break of 19,900. If price decides it wants to reject that area and you're looking for some short-term sells, I think that makes sense as well. But yeah, I don't expect it to. I mean, I don't expect it to last too long, but something like that is a possibility as well. But yeah, I'm expecting NAS to push into the high. So if I was looking to trade NAS, I'll be looking for buys and I'll be hoping for something like this, and then hoping for something like this for a retest, and then that's where I'll look for my positions. If we do reject him and come back down, then I'll see how far we go. I'm not too sure if I'd buy there because coming back into a big level, and this level doesn't really make much sense anymore. So this becomes the next best area, which is very, very far down. So really, to me, this is what I want to see from NAS: a break above the high and a buy. But yeah, you're right. We are consolidating on the lower time frames there, back and forth, back and forth. Not really interested in that range. If you can break out, great. I feel like you probably look for retests on the back of the high here, find some entries and take it higher up. Because I do expect us to push back into 2,700 at some point. Okay, we'll go through pound CHF, see what's cooking on the CHF pairs for now. That's no joke. Pull back nearly 50 quid in the red. Yeah, that's the indices for you. Swing trader, intraday, or both? Are you asking for me or someone else in the chat? For me, swing, definitely swing. Definitely swing. I mean, I can look for intraday opportunities as well, but in terms of my personal trading, it will be swing. So yeah, in terms of pound CHF, that one is looking pretty bullish. You're not wrong there, Ben. You're not wrong there at all. Pound CHF is pushing pretty hard. We've got the rates on Thursday morning, so that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, I've been expecting to see some retracement for pound CHF as well, but we just haven't quite seen that yet. Price had a really big break out through this low here, which I was expecting us to actually sell off from, but price didn't want to do that. I'm still looking for a big short here for pound CHF, but where is it going to come from? Where is it going to come from? I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if we push back to the high there around 1.156, but that's a long, long way away. I think for now, if you're looking to trade pound CHF, I think at least on an intraday level, even probably swing as well a little bit. Buys look good on the retest of this area here, 1.12. Buys do look good there. Again, I'm still looking for the bigger move to the downside, but at this point, yeah, I don't really have a good short. Unless we can see some nice rejection here by the end of the day, then possibly. But if we start breaking above that, then I don't really have a place where I would want to short from. I need price to develop, maybe form some lower lows and lower highs, and then find some shorts later on. But yeah, I think the buys there look good. So on the retest of that area, we certainly had a nice breakout through that. So it's kind of leaving behind some solid support should we come back for a retest. We'll see if price can hold on to that level. It looks like it's trying to break above, but if you form a nice bearish engulfing, that could be a nice trade there. But yeah, if you're looking for longs, 1.122 looks good. Still kind of looking for a lower high here because we had a lovely high there. Price create a low, lower high, lower low. Looking for that lower high to form somewhere. If I whip out the Fibonacci, how big of retracement have we had so far? Okay, we still got 0.786 above us there. So I do expect that high to form. Maybe closer to the 0.786 is probably where it forms, but I don't really have a concrete level, so I wouldn't be taking shorts with this one. But yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot of momentum at the moment. No problem. Okay, on the same page with NAS. Nice. I'll go take a look at some other indices as well. Swing, day trade, scalper, or combinations. Well, I mean, for me, definitely swing, not really combinations. I don't really drop to scalp or day trade or anything. I'm purely swing. Of course, when I do go through some pairs for people, I will look at some intraday opportunities, but that's me just kind of thinking, um, thinking on the spot in terms of my trading. I've got the pairs which I'm looking at and the swings I'm looking to take advantage of. I don't drop to lower time frames and try and look for a scalp or day trade. That's not my thing there. But I will go through some day trades for people on the stream. Shorts down to 1.12 was the move. I was okay. Shorts down to 1.12. So back to, is that daily area there? Yeah, more or less. So yeah, I think that's a nice trade as well. I mean, you're not asking for a lot from pound CHF as well. It's a pretty tradable range there, and price could well find support and push on against you. But you're looking to take your profits there as well. So I think it's a pretty logical place to expect price to move into. But yeah, price is definitely looking pretty bullish right now. Other CHF pairs doing similar thing. Euro a little bit there. CAD is trying to be bullish. Aussie looking somewhat bullish. New Zealand somewhat bullish as well. So it does look like CHF is kind of a little bit weak. But yeah, from a technical point of view, it's a nice place for a short. And I would agree with you on that one. It's just not playing ball right now. But things can turn quickly. I wouldn't say we've broken above it. I wouldn't say we're not going to see that move. So it could still come around. Maybe price wants to give us a few wicks here before it does turn around. So I wouldn't rule off that opportunity just yet. But yeah, we definitely are looking a little bit bullish. We definitely are looking a little bit bullish. But I think that sell is still a good opportunity to look at. And then maybe if it does play out, you can probably find some buyers taking it back up again. So yeah, I would keep an eye on that pound CHF opportunity. But I think pound's a little bit bullish as well. Pound USD is pushing hard, creating high after high after high. Pound Yen push pretty hard as well. I'm still looking for some shorts on this one as we approach the high. Seeing some wicks there. Nothing too much to ride home about. But I'm liking the market slowing down at this high. So it's a sign that the market's starting to respect the level, but we've got a lot to do before I do find an entry, but it's a start. But yeah, I think pound is pretty strong here. How's pound CAD doing? Yeah, it's pushing up as well. Of course, we saw pound Aussie, which was looking pretty bullish. Pound NZD, not really. I think euro pound's been falling a lot. Yeah, I think that's a combination of euro weakness though. And then pound CHF pushing up. So I think pound's a little bit strong too. We'll go through some indices. Yeah, pound and euro are strong today. Do people know this country's falling apart? Apparently not. Apparently not, Ben. Apparently not. Okay, we'll go through some indices. So we had a look at NAS, which is trying to break the high. I think US 30, yeah, US 30 is looking pretty bullish. Again, with US 30, we're at an area where we could retrace now. If we're going to respect this ascending channel, we toppled over there. We toppled over there. We could topple over here as well. But again, that's not really a trade which I would look to take because again, I'm not really trying to call any tops here. Um, but it's an area where I do think the bigger move is to retrace. So I think from an intraday level, buys are still probably your best bet. Certainly with a solid level of resistance, which we just created there. Actually, let me just use the zone there. Solid level resistance, possibly a breaking retest could be a nice opportunity. But I wouldn't try and hold these trades for too long because we're in areas where I do expect us to reverse and see some retracement. Same thing with S&P as well. You know, at an area where we could, of course, break out and continue if price wants to do that, but at a place as well where we can definitely reverse too. So I'll be very, very careful with those buys and try and keep them as short term, even though the market is still pretty bullish. But yeah, the US 30 and the S&P in that kind of similar ballpark, similar situation. But at the moment, they're pretty bullish. So if you're intraday, I would still keep up with the buys. I wouldn't try and look for some sells just yet. And I think for NAS as well, if that one decides wants to break out as well, the buys look good there too. Let's have a look at the DAX, which Holy One was trading. Okay, that was back at the high there as well. This one looks like it's trying to break up the high too. So maybe the DAX is going to push on. How's the UK 100 looking? Yeah, this one's a bit awkward to be honest. I mean, I said some buys look good here last week. Haven't quite made that happen yet. I still think it's a great place to buy from since the market's had a lot of wicks into that area, respected numerous occasions. So to me, that's a really nice place for a buy. But where we're trading right now in some resistance, it's not really clean. It's not really clean resistance at all. So I wouldn't really look to do anything there myself. I wouldn't look to sell it. I wouldn't look to buy it. If UK 100 was to push down here, that would be an attractive buy to me. And then yeah, I'll be expecting a push back to the high at 84.74 because that's kind of how UK 100 moves. It has this prolonged consolidations, then eventually picks its direction, consolidation, picks its direction, consolidation, picks its direction. So I'm kind of expecting that pattern to repeat there with this one. So in terms of finding a good opportunity, kind of just want to be buying low or selling high if you want to be a seller. But you're trying to pick these lows here. That's the best way about it. So if you were to come again, pick the low, see if we can get a nice reaction to the upside. So bullish on the UK 100. I think I'm bullish on most of these indices. I think retracements will come soon, but I wouldn't sell it just yet. Let me have a quick look at the old Japanese index as well. Haven't had a look at this one in a while. Okay, so we're not quite back at the high yet. I was looking for a push back into resistance there, which you've just more or less done, but haven't quite made it into the high. Let me just clean up the chart quickly. Okay, it's taken a bit longer than I expected. So yeah, with the JP225, I'm very bearish on it. But I think we can push a little bit higher though, because we're not quite at the high just yet. Not quite at the high just yet. So, but this is the move I'm looking for, which makes sense because with the yen pairs, I'm looking for a big move down as well. So nice to see the bias does line up. How are we looking at the yen basket as well? I think that's like an upside down dollar yen to a degree. Okay, so it looks like we're breaking through that. So maybe the yen basket pushes back to the low here before we push up. If that's the case, again, maybe a bit more yen yen weakness before we finally see some strength. So yeah, maybe want to keep an eye on that, but it doesn't change a thing. The bias is still looking for the big sell. If you guys are enjoying the content, by the way, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out. I do appreciate everyone who has liked and subscribed so far. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Okay, TV was your the high was your take profit. Had a fight with the 50. I know what that means by. Okay, we'll take a look at NCCHF as well. If we can hold above the high, there could definitely be some bullish setups next week. Okay. I mean, look at that. And Ben, do you remember the buy setup that we talked about? I don't know if it was last week. It might be last week or the week before, but it actually played out very well. Played out very well. The retest of this low and the big swing to the upside played out really, really well. In terms of NCCHF now, it does look like it's trying to break above the high here as well. Again, for NCCHF, we're in that area where we could be going for a bigger pullback as well. I've marked out this area here as a place where we could be attracted towards after respecting this low. So if we are going to break through this area, this will be the next level I'm expecting us to get to 0.5, yeah, 0.54 on the dot pretty much. So we might pull back a little bit. I don't expect just a straight path to that level. Probably will push up, maybe correct a bit, and then push up again. So we could be talking about a nice higher low buy on the retest of some structure, maybe sometime next week, something like that, or maybe before, maybe the retest of this level. You know, it just depends how the price action unravels. But yeah, if we are going to clear this high here, then the next best area for me would definitely be 0.54. And then maybe from there could be some nice sells back down again. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But NCCHF have a nice reaction off that low. This one is coming from all-time lows as well. So it does have that possibility to really see upside if it wants to. But for now, I'm still going to respect that bearish structure and keep an eye on this area here because this very much could send us back down again as we approach that high. But for now, it's a pretty nice rejection off that low. Looking like price is trying to break the high here. If we can keep that up and push on, maybe we can get some nice retest for a long at some point. But yeah, NCCHF looking pretty bullish to me. For a small loss, it's been ripping ever since. Yeah, it kind of saw you exit the trade, so I was like, okay, now let's quickly move up. Ben's out the position, so let's just fly. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about the daily. It could be quick, it could be short. You just don't know really. You just don't know. But with the higher time frames, yeah, some trades could take forever to get going, and just as we said last week, you know, it could take forever just to be a break even or potentially be a loss as well. But sometimes you do get trades that will move quickly, just like with every time frame as well. You get some trades that will be done very, very quickly, and some trades that will take longer than expected. Just with the daily chart, it's going to take a lot longer. If it goes through some consolidation, of course, then you have to take into account swaps. But of course, for NCCHF, it's actually positive swaps. But yeah, this one did pretty well. I have to say, it did pretty well. It surprised me as well how fast it got going. But yeah, if we can clear the high there, I will be looking at 0.54 as the next target, and then maybe some reversals and some sells from then on as well. Aussie Chef, his partner in crime, is looking somewhat bullish too. That's coming back into another high. I think this is a nice place for a short as well. So it should be breaking a little bit higher. That's a nice place for some downside too. But yeah, C-Chef pairs are trying to push on here. CAD C-Chef looks like it's breaking out that channel, which is pretty big because a break of that channel could take us possibly back to the high. 0.636. It's one of the best charts you can find at the moment. Okay, a lot of room to move into the buys. Okay, bears. I mean, I'm kind of like that with with the yen pairs because there's a lot of room to move into for the sells. Um, but yeah, and CHF does have a lot of room as well, especially because on the way down we had such a clean drop. So you would expect to see fairly, doesn't have to be as volatile as that, but a fairly clean move back to the upside as well. Kind of like what we had here, big move down, price kind of pushed up quite nicely. Of course, it did become a bit corrective at some point, but price kind of moves in the least in the path of the least resistance. So if there's not a lot of obstacles in the way, it should have a pretty clean ride. But yeah, it does have some upside potential back to 0.854. In my book, the yen pairs have a similar opportunity if these guys want to get going. So I really like them. Pound yen, the best of the bunch. Aussie yen I like as well, but I want it to be a little bit higher than that before I take the shorts. And Swiss yen I like as well. But again, I want it to be a little bit higher before I do take the sells. And I'm looking for something like this for this one. But again, it's going to find that the better yen pair. No need to try to take all of them. Big shorts for euro yen at 163. I'm looking for. Okay, I haven't actually looked at euro yen yet. I was supposed to do that earlier. We'll go through euro yen. I want us to reject above the high. Okay. Okay, it could be a nice short. Okay, we'll take a look at euro yen. So with euro yen, I originally was actually looking for some shorts around this level here, 160. Didn't really form how I wanted it to, kind of broke above, broke below, so it's not really testing the level. The area which I do like, again, it's more of a higher time frame level, more of a daily level, to be honest. I mean, a daily type of trade. But it's 163. I like this 163 area up here. Should we get close to that high, that for me looks like a really nice place for a short. And she's on the full hour, probably some wider stops, give it some room. That to me looks like a really nice range to trade. But I am looking for a lower high now with euro yen. For me, some other yen pairs look a little bit cleaner, so that's where my focus lies. But again, for pretty much all these yen pairs, I do expect a big move down. You're looking at 163. Okay, so yeah, 163 more or less the same area I'm looking at as well. So yeah, I'm looking for that short as well. And again, the risk reward for this one could be phenomenal if it does play out from that area to there. You're looking at about 700-800 pips. Even if you get yourself a 100 pip stop loss, you're still looking at 1 to 7, 1 to 8 there. If you capitalize on the full swing, that is. So the risk reward looks really, really good. Of course, the smaller the stop loss, the bigger the reward. It's always a bit difficult to get a very small stop loss with the yen pairs because of how volatile they are. So you're probably going to have a slightly bigger stop loss than usual. But again, even with 100 pips as a stop loss, you're still looking at 1 to 7, 1 to 8, maybe even more back to the low. So I'm really liking what we're seeing here with euro yen. Pound yen is a similar boat. But if we do push on a little bit higher, that's when I'll be interested in euro yen. Stop loss above the high somewhere. And then, yeah. Because again, I think this is probably a top for us for euro yen of this bullish trend. Has some really nice momentum over the past couple of years. I do think the top is at play or is in play. So now I'm expecting a bit of a bearish trend to form and some downside. So the higher we push up with these yen pairs, I'm just going to look for those tops to be shorting them. Of course, at logical areas, I'm not going to short anywhere. But I do expect that trend to form. So I don't expect to see higher highs and higher lows forming. So that's why with all this bullish momentum, I'm just getting ready to short them. And of course, I could be wrong, which is why we have stop losses, which is why we manage our risk, which is why we don't bet the farm on every trade we take. But the risk reward is there, makes sense. And of course, the location we're trading at as well. If you zoom out to the monthly chart, you can see euro yen's coming right back into this high here. Last time we did something of that, of something similar of that nature, we put the high in here, it had a massive sell-off. Euro yen's back at that same area. I do think we can go through something like that as well. It might not be all the way down to the lows here, but even just a retest of the high there still looks like a good trade to me. So yeah, I like where we're trading. It's an area where the top could form. Characteristics of the price action looks good as well. So the downside potential is high. And pretty much all the yen pairs are in similar situations. Pound yen as well, which I've touched on before. Monthly chart, right, taking out the high, big sell. We did that not long ago. Massive sell there. So expecting something similar. So yeah, keeping a close eye. 900 pips would be lovely. Yeah, 900 pips would be great. That's not a small move at all. Again, 100 pip stop loss, 900 pip targets, a 1 to 9, even 150 pip stop loss, you're still looking at 1 to 5 plus, which is still very healthy return on a trade. OP, what's good? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Have I checked you at NZE? I think so, but I will go quickly over it again. Keris, just out of curiosity, please keep I'll take a look at Ethereum. No problem. Blessing. Hope you're well. Euro USD, UJ. Okay, we'll take a look. Tony Gold, almost missed your message there. We'll take a look at Pound CHF for you. No problem. So yeah, Pound CHF, as I mentioned with this one, we're trading at a nice area where sell does look good. But at the same time, I would be wary of this 1.12 level as a place where buys look good as well. So we spoke about this earlier. A nice sell from 1.134 could come into play, and we could catch a nice move back down into 1.12. I'm still very bearish on pound CHF longer term, so I'm looking for a lower high to form at some area. Form the nice high there, lower high there. Expecting another one to form somewhere, and then a big sell-off. So that's my thinking with pound CHF, but it's not at play just yet, and I definitely need to be wary of that because that could send us up. So I think that's an idea for later on. But for now, something like this looks reasonable. If we can break through, then maybe you can speak about something like this happening and some shorts later on. But we'll talk about that when we cross that bridge. But for now, something like that makes some sense. And possibly, if we see some nice rejection there, some buys make some sense as well. So that's kind of where I'm at with pound CHF at the moment. Kind of looks like we're trying to break out, but that could change quickly. Momentum can kick in New York session. We might see nice bearish engulfing on the hourly, 4 hour, some wicks forming. So there could be some trades there to take some downside. And then there could be some buys on the flip once we get into this 1.12 area there too. So that's kind of my thinking there for pound CHF. And the area I've marked out is this low here, and I'm taking that across. So I like where we're trading. Just need to see some signs that we're rejecting the area. Nothing concrete just yet. Hopefully that made some sense. Let me know what your bias is, what your plan is with pound CHF as well. OP will go for UNZD. So yeah, with UNZD, we had a big sell-off yesterday. Yeah, so I'm looking for price to come back into the low here. Huge bearish candle there yesterday, really, really big. And I'm expecting us just to nestle back at this low really, because the market's had a great sell-off here. It's just formed another lower high. So the chances are we're coming back to the low. Simple, just market structure continuing there. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And now expecting a lower low at some point, or at least an equal low, back at this area. So if UNSD was kind enough to pull back a bit and retrace, I think this is a nice area for a short. The retest of the low here at 1.782. If the market can push back into that area, I think that's a great place to short. Look for a lower high and then take it back into the low there. I think Ritual looks really good as well. Probably find some entries on the hourly or 30-minute, maybe even lower. And you can probably take advantage of a nice move there. And you got some added confidence there too. But yeah, UNSD, bearish bias, nice momentum on the break. Let's see if we can get a pullback and some more shorts. That's kind of my thinking with UNSD. If you're looking for buys, then yeah, keep an eye on this area. There might be a bit of a pop, but I don't expect it to last too long because I do expect this to break, because I am looking for UNSD to come back into this low longer term. So that's the move I'm expecting on the high time frame. So there might be a nice short-term buy here, but I do think we'll eventually break through. So I wouldn't hang on to that buy for too long. But yeah, that's where I'm at with UNZD. In terms of Ethereum, I haven't really been keeping up to date with Ethereum too much. I've been more concentrated on Bitcoin. out of the crypto markets. But I do like Ethereum actually. The price action is pretty neat. We've had a big sell-off not long ago. Looks like we've come back for a retest of the high here, just about. I like the shorts as we approach this area up here. So if the market was kind enough to push a little bit higher, I do like the shorts here for another move back down. We very well could, eventually get this move here, but we'll speak about that, when we're in an area to take advantage of that right now. At the moment, we're coming to an area for a really nice sell. So I'm not really seeing any opportunities for buys unless we're going to break through it. Then maybe we'll speak on that. But for now, I'll be hoping for a little bit more upside for Ethereum back to 2780 and see if we can get some nice rejection there. And if so, looking for some shorts for a big swing back to the 2100 area. But again, probably take some partials and manage your trade along the way. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Ethereum. I like it actually, to be honest. It's a nice little sell. If we can get back to that level, see some nice rejection. And yeah, I'll be expecting us to come back to where we came from. So that's kind of my thinking with Ethereum. We'll go through Euro dollar and dollar yen as well for blessing. Favorite recommendations this week. Okay, I've got some recommendations for you. I'll just go for Euro USD and UJ first. We'll take a look. In Keba, okay, is that your trade for gold? Entry, stop loss, take profits. Okay, we'll take a look at that for gold. Are you selling or buying? Looks like you're buying. Okay, we'll go take a look. Let me go through Euro USD and dollar yen. So yeah, Euro USD very bullish on still, as I've been mentioning for the past, I don't know, a while now. I'm still looking for a push back into the high there. That's still very much the plan. Unfortunately, was trailed out the position there, so not in the market. If we do push on, might miss out on that move. But if Euro USD can retrace a little bit further, I'm looking for some buys around 1.1 on the dot, pretty much, and also some buys around 1.0945. So if the market can retrace to these levels here, that's where I'll be looking for some entries. These to me look like the best places for some buys, at least for what I'm trying to do with the market and with my swing buys. Because at the moment, the market's really awkward. We're kind of trading some resistance here. I don't really want to be buying into that level of resistance. And it's kind of just fluctuating a lot. I think we've had a lot of news, so it's kind of a bit sore after all of that news. But if you can push back to some lows down here, that'd be much appreciated. I'll look for some entries in that area. Stops below the low, targets, same as last time. If we push a little bit lower, even better. That means the risk reward will be even better if it does happen. And again, looking for a push back to the high. So that's what I'm looking for in Euro. Whether that will happen or not is a big if. I'm not too sure we'll see a move that low, to be honest. I think we'll probably just do something like this, mess around, and then just break higher. I think it'll be difficult to catch the buy because I'm keeping an eye on the DXY, and it looks like the DXY is kind of trapped in this consolidation, and it might be trying to break the low on this next attempt because it's tried to push on to the high. It's failed to do that. It's kind of respected resistance here. So now we're kind of just trapped within this consolidation. So we might see price go and break the low now and be on its way. So if the dollar's going to do that and push back to the low here, that's going to take euro to the upside. That's going to take pound to the upside, and so on and so forth. But yeah, at the moment, I do think we'll see a bit of a drop for the DXY, at least back into the low of the range again, and then we'll go from there. Maybe we bounce, maybe we break. But yeah, I do expect us to get there eventually. It's just whether euro will retrace for me or not, and I don't think it will, to be honest. But I'm not willing to get involved here. Maybe if we can push back to the low, something like that could be nice intraday. So we can get stop loss underneath this low here. Maybe a buy there could look good. But other than that, euro looks really awkward to me. So yeah, that's kind of my take on euro USD. We'll go through dollar yen next. You met NZCHF. Okay, I'll take a look at that, Tony. Ben, euro and GU are a mess at the moment. I agree, to be honest. Euro more some. I think pound's just flying, to be honest. It's not clean, but it's just flying at the moment. So at least I can understand what pound USD is telling me there. You know, I can read its language. Euro USD, high time frames look good. I think they look really great. If the market does retrace, I like the buys, but the more immediate price action as I drop to the low time frames looks horrendous. So I would just stay away, to be honest. I think you can probably find better pairs, or at least wait for euro to develop over a couple of days. You know, by Thursday, you might be looking a little bit neater, or at least easier to read. Maybe not. Maybe wait to next week. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the conditions right now for euro. All right, no problem, Holy One. Take care, my man. Have a good day. No trades and no food. All right, okay, no problem, man. Catch you tomorrow. Have a good day. Simbanello, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Okay, you're in gold buys as well. So that means 2 people are in some gold buys on the stream today. After sweeping the H4 lows and silver didn't sweep, it made SMT and I bought. Okay, we'll take a look at gold for you. First, let me go through UJ and then we'll go over gold. So dollar yen, I'm still long-term bearish with this one, but we are approaching the upper end of this descending channel. So it'll be interesting to see what dollar yen does. Do we hold this top and do we sell off, or does price break out and we have a bigger retracement? Because as I mentioned before, my thought process with dollar yen, if I just remove my drawings, my thought process with dollar yen is that we've had a big sell-off here. I'm looking for a pullback of that because this is such a big move. So a pullback is a healthy reaction to this move here, especially coming off that low there, which gave us a really big move up to these highs. So as we approach the low here, I'm expecting retracement, and I'm looking for a lower high to topple somewhere, and then the market to continue down. The question is just, where is that high going to be formed? Is it going to form at the top end of this channel and it's going to continue down? Are you going to break out the channel and push a little bit higher up and then drop? Or are you going to push maybe to 152 and then drop? That's kind of what I'm looking at, and price action and how price is moving will help give me information on that question and where the likely turnaround is. At the moment, we're struggling at the high here. So there could be some nice shorts here, especially on intraday level. If you can see a bit more momentum there, some shorts could look good, something like this. Again, I wouldn't look for this move outright. I would say if I can get a move back to this level, that would be nice. Bank some partials there, maybe trail a stop loss, and then I can leave the rest of them to run to that low, just in case we go through that bigger pullback. But at the moment, it does look like price is having a hard time rejecting that high, hard time breaking the high there. So I think shorts look good there for dollar yen. If they don't hold, then 147 is the next area, which looks like a nice place for a short. We'll discuss that if this area doesn't hold. But for now, it's doing a good job. We'll see if we can keep that up, see if we can get some momentum there. Maybe some shorts there for oil could be for oil. Where did that come from? For dollar yen could be forming there. Like I said, I think Thursday target's the low. And then if you can break through that, then I think yeah, lows down there look good around 140. But that's kind of my take for dollar yen. I was about to say oil there again. I don't know where oil's coming from. Don't even trade oil. How's pound yen doing? Okay, so pound yen is rejecting the high. It's looking okay. Some nice wicks down the hourly chart. Okay, I need a little bit more than this. I'm looking for entries on the 4-hour anyway, so a bit of a while to go. But seeing some nice rejection, but yeah, it's very early doors. Still got 2.5 hours before that 4-hour candle closes, so a lot can happen in that time. And for all I know, we could be breaking above it in the next couple of hours as well. So I'm not going to read too much into it, but Yeah, we're at some nice areas, at least for pound yen anyway. Euro yen, I'll still wait for 163. Aussie yen, I'm still waiting for 99.8 really. And Swiss yen, I'm kind of waiting for 172. But yeah, pound yen's at the area, so I'm gonna let fly if that one gives me a nice signal. Stops above the high, of course. I'll give it some buffer room just because it's pound yen. It loves a bit of chaos, so I'll give it a bit of buffer room. But again, the plan is a swing right back down to 180. So if I measure from current price to there, we're looking at about 1,300 pips. No small move at all. No small move. Anyways, we'll go through gold. A couple people looking at gold. We'll go through New Zealand Seed Chef as well. Kung, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What's your thoughts on pound USD? Okay. We'll take a look at pound USD as well for you. No problem. Indomiso, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Hardest thing to do is wait. We'll sit on my hands this week. That's the plan, my friend. That's the plan. If you don't have any setups, wait. I mean, for me, for example, pound yen, I took a trade here. It didn't work out. Price is now coming to this next area. Now I have to wait for that setup to form because we very much could break through this level too. There's no certainty that price will reject my levels. Price can very much break through them. It just depends what price wants to do. So I have to wait for price action. I have to wait for price to get to areas. I have to wait for price to reject those areas. Give me entry signals before I can get involved, and that's the reality for every trader as well. So yeah, it's a part of the game. If you feel like you're waiting around a lot, you're doing something good. Of course, with purpose, not just randomly. But anyway, we'll go through gold. So gold looking really bullish. A couple people in some buys, and I don't mind it, to be honest. I'm not really on the low time frames like that, but I did mention. Wow, that was really pushed on. I did mention earlier that this area here and this area here looks like a nice place for a buy. So if this level didn't hold, this would be the next best area. If that didn't hold, then I'd say, yeah, we probably are going through a bit of a mini reversal on the low time frame / bigger retracement. And then I'll be looking for the buys around 25.88. But for now, it looks like gold is doing a pretty good job at respecting the low here. So not a bad buy at all. Where's your targets, people who are trading gold right now? I think back to the high is the most sensible thing. But I would suggest, though, even if you are intraday and just looking for some intraday trades, I would at least leave a little bit to trickle because you don't know with gold. Gold could just suddenly go on a crazy one and start flying. And it could just be the trade where you leave a little bit in, and that could turn into a big thing as well. Gold has that potential to just fly. So I'd always try and leave myself an opportunity to catch that. If this was like Euro USD at all-time highs, then yeah, I'll try and cut my profits at that high. I'll leave a little bit to run, of course, but with Euro, I'll be expecting retracement very, very soon. With gold, we can push really hard if gold wants to. So I would lock in some gains there, of course, back at the high because we definitely could reverse there. But knowing gold, we have that possibility to fly as well. So I'll try and accommodate for that as well. But in Keba, you've got targets at 26.37. 26.37, like that's more or less the high there, and 26.48, which is around there-ish. How come you're targeting 26.48? Is there certain confluence there or reason why you're targeting 26.48? Because I'm interested because, of course, this is the all-time high for gold. So above that, there's no price action. There's no levels there. And the next big psychological level would be like 26.50, a nice round number. So that would be my thinking with gold. But I'm wondering why you're targeting 26.48 in particular. Is it like a fib extension or was it another indicator that you were using? But yeah, in terms of the idea of the trade, I'm liking it. And of course, momentum is looking really good now as well. So hopefully that can continue for you guys. But yeah, I think gold has a good chance of getting back to the high anyway. So looking good, looking good. We'll go through New Zealand CHF next, and then we'll go through pound USD as well. I don't think I've missed out a pair. If I have, I'm sure you guys will let me know. So yeah, with New Zealand CHF, at the moment we're still trading at resistance, but it looks like price is trying to break through. If price can break above this, then I'm looking for NZCHF to move back into 0.84. I think this is a really nice place for a short. If price does break above that area. If price starts rejecting this level, then it could be some nice downside there for a sell. We had some nice rejection down the 4 hour yesterday, but it looks like price is trying to break above that. So if you're looking to take some entries on New Zealand CHF to the downside, if you're looking to short from here, then I would wait for some more evidence that price is rejecting this area. So some bearish engulfing, some wicks. I would wait for some more evidence that price is holding on to that level. If not, if we are breaking through, then this is the next area I'm expecting us to push into 0.54. And that will become the next best place for a sell. Something like that. So yeah, New Zealand CHF, nice place, nice area for a short. If it's going to break above, then I do see a push in 0.54, and that then will become a nice area for a short. In the meantime, there could be some nice breaking retests, nice longs to ride that up to that level, of course. But yeah, we're at a nice level on the daily. It's just not really playing ball right now. It looks like it's breaking above it. So unless that changes drastically in the next few hours and we don't get the break above, then yeah, there could be some sells here back down, but we have to wait and see. That's where the reaction and the waiting comes into play. Because as traders, we're not fortune tellers. We don't know where price is going to be. We just have to react to what price is giving us and wait for information, wait for the time to strike, wait for the iron to be hot. And right now, we're waiting to see price is going to keep pushing up or it's going to turn around and reject this at some point today. So once we get that answer, we can then plan some opportunities. But these are the areas which I would focus on for New Zealand CHF, at least for now anyway. Okay, we'll go through pound USD. Okay, Simbonello will go through some indices as well. If you have any particular that you want me to look at, of course, just let me know. But pound USD just looking bullish. There's not a lot to do with pound USD unless you're intraday just kind of taking advantage of those dips, to be honest, because we're still pushing pretty hard. On my weekly analysis, I talked about a retest of this area as a nice place for a buy. Didn't really see that happen, or we were very close to see that happening this week, but didn't quite come into fruition. Now price is breaking to the upside pretty aggressively. I think if you can get a retest of this area, that's not a bad place for a long, especially in like the hourly. Solid resistance in the past, kind of held a support briefly there as well, and pull back to that area. Looks like a nice place for a long in my book. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be concentrating on there for pounds. Again, in terms of targets, we're more or less in an area where I would expect the market to retrace from. So again, I'm just going to see what pound does because we're just so bullish. I'm expecting to see a retracement pretty soon for pound, but we could still push another 100 pips if we wanted to before that retracement comes. So if you're on the intraday level, I wouldn't try and short because there'll be a lot of traders now anticipating pound to fall. So there'll be a lot of people just selling, and just in a big loss. Of course, you eventually expect it to come down, but you don't know how far it will push on before it does do that. So I think your best bet for now is just to take advantage of that intraday momentum, but be prepared for that bigger sell when it does happen. So yeah, same thing with euro as well. I do expect euro to push up, but that big retracement will come at some point. But for now, I think intraday, this is your best bet. Probably entries, probably 15-minute as well. And there we go. And then take it back to highs and maybe beyond maybe leave some to trail. But that's kind of my take for pound. And again, if pound USD is going to drop, where's DXY there? It's pound USD. If dollar is going to drop, sorry, if dollar is going to drop, then that should help pound push up as well. That's what I'm looking at for dollar. Okay, we'll go through Nasdaq and S&P for you. No problem. 88% of retail short on G. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see that. Once you look at sentiment analysis quite a lot, you can understand what traders will be doing, or at least retail traders will be doing. Um, you know, when the yen pairs were very, very bullish and were flying to the upside, most retail traders would have been short for all of this as we've been pushing up high. Don't get me wrong, there are some opportunities here to short. Both sellers and buyers can still take advantage of the same chart. It's just the sellers in a bullish market have to be more careful and have to be very timely with their trades, because if they're not, they're going to be eaten up, of course. And buyers, of course, still have to be timely as well. You can't just buy whenever, but you can get away with it a bit more because the market's pushing up anyway, of course. At the same time, you're looking for your dips. You're looking for areas where the market's likely to continue the trend. But yeah, I know for a fact that the net kind of positions for retail traders in this climate would be very, very bullish, just like as we're melting here. Very, very bearish, sorry. And just as we're melting here. So as pound USD has been pushing up, so many sellers will be jumping into the market because they believe the market's too high. And I don't think they're wrong as well. I think the market is a little bit high now. I think it does need a retracement, but I'm not going to start looking to short pound USD because of that. I've been burned many times doing that in the past. So, I'm not going to try and do that. It's much easier to take advantage of a buys in a bullish market than sells, statistically. Yeah, we were saying that a couple of weeks ago. People say you're bullish chart, all they want to do is short. That's a perfect example. Yeah, it's actually very perfect. 88%. It summarizes that very, very well. And it's a natural tendency. They're not, people are not shorting the market cluelessly. It's based on logic and reason that the market is extended and it's likely to reverse. You look back at prior price action with pound, you can see that when the market does go through a big run, it does eventually hit a top and it does eventually come back down. Same thing with the vice versa. We have big sells, we do eventually come back up. Big sell, we do push up, big push up down, big push up, we do come back down. It comes from a logical place, but there has to be method behind it. You can't just short because the market's too high. You get eaten alive if you do that. There needs to be method behind it, and I think that's where a lot of people slip up. I think looking for sells is not such a bad idea, but I think if you're not having method behind it, that's when it is a bad idea. And I think that's the boat a lot of retail traders who are short right now are in. So yeah, I would just focus on the buys. And don't get me wrong, eventually the buys will fail as well because the market will go through that retracement. But there's a lot more to be made in the buys as we push up. And when we do eventually retrace and we do get the reversal, you can always shift your buys to bearish and take advantage of sells. You don't have to be stubborn. Don't have to be stubborn. And some traders actually use that sentiment analysis as confidence for their trading. They always want to be against the retail position. So if a lot of if retails are net short on pound USD, for example, they want to be long. And if the retail traders change to net long, they want to be short. And they use that as a confidence for their trades, which makes sense. If most retail traders do lose money, then on average, you do kind of want to be against their positions. Not every time, because sometimes the retail traders will be right, of course. It's a game of probabilities. So not every time you want to be against them, but more often than not, you do kind of want to be going against the crowd. So some traders use that as a confidence for their trades. I'm not really, because for me, I've got a plan that I know exact opportunity I want to trade. Sometimes that is in favor of retail traders. Sometimes it's completely against it. So I don't really necessarily look at it as a confluence, but I know traders who do. We'll go through the indices before I forget. Just because the market's then doesn't mean it will go down. True. Look at gold. People have looking sales since the beginning of the year. Very, very true. Very, very true. Again, with trading, it's not absolutes. Everything's not absolute. Just because the market's trending up doesn't mean it will keep trending up. It could just start trending down now. With trading, nothing is absolute. It's all probability. So because the market is overextended, on average, you would expect it to eventually retrace. But just because it's overextended doesn't mean it can't move another 500 pips to the upside before it does retrace as well. That's a possibility as well, which is why you manage your risk. And just because the trend is up now and I look for buys now doesn't mean it can't then reverse as well. So it goes both ways. There's logic behind it. You just have to have method as well and risk management and all the above. So and like I said, you can't just short because the market's too high. There's got to be more to it than that. But I definitely agree with you, Simonello, because if you've been shorting gold all year, it's going to be a tough year for you. Let me go through some of the indices. So NAS, as I mentioned earlier, I like NAS to the upside back to 2,700. That's where I want to take NAS to. But it's got to, of course, break through this first obstacle in our way, which is this 9,900. If we can break through that, that's great. And then I think we'll probably be on our way back to 2,700 at that point. So solid break above that, retest the buy, some stops underneath the level. And then, Bob's your uncle. You got a nice opportunity there. At the moment, yeah, we haven't got the breakout yet. It looks like price is trying to get the break, to be honest. So I think we will. But of course, we have to wait for it to happen. And then we can look for our retests, maybe some entries in the 4-hour, entries in the hourly. And then, yeah. But for NAS, I am looking for us to get here. You can see for US 30 and S&P, we're at all-time highs. The market's pushed up. So I think NAS is just lagging behind those two, and it will catch up eventually. So that's why I like NAS, because there's opportunity there. US 30, S&P were at all-time highs. Not really interested in buying them anymore, even though they could still go a lot further. But NAS, since we're nowhere near the all-time highs, there's opportunity for this one. So yeah, with NAS, I think break me tests look good. S&P, like I said, I wouldn't be so interested in buys right now. I think a retracement is due at some point, really. But again, I wouldn't look to short that either. I think from an intraday level, if you're like on the lower time frames, I think shorter term buys look good. Say if we can break the high here in the hourly, could be a nice retest above that. So just taking advantage of that intraday momentum, I think makes the most sense there. But yeah, longs look the best on NAS. S&P is just in a bit of an awkward area. Okay, then I'm going to read COT report. Nice. Okay, take care. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Ben, made me want to back out. No way. You saw retail traders on that short, so you wanted to exit. Yeah. Again, as I said, retail traders are sometimes right as well. It's not just retail traders are completely wrong all the time. Because in that case, then you just have to do the opposite and you'll make a bunch of money. So retail traders will be, in fact, it's not even the percentages that high as well. It'll be like 55 or 60% of the time, the retail traders on average will be incorrect. It probably be like somewhere between that. It wouldn't be like 90% of the time, because even if they were 90% incorrect, then of course all you have to do is just go the opposite of the retail traders. So they're not wrong to a big degree. They're probably just wrong like 55, 60% of the time. So there will be times where the herd of retail traders will be correct and of course incorrect as well. So it can be a nice confluence to use the retail sentiment. And again, on average, you want to be against them, but it doesn't make sense to be against them all the time. Unless that'll be a very great indicator if they're always wrong. So So sometimes they do get it right and they do catch some nice moves, of course, on average. But yeah, it's always nice to be going against them. But I think the meaningful takeaway is that when you see bullish markets like gold and pound, is like those when retail traders get heavily short and heavily against the trend. When the market's a bit more neutral like this, then you will see retail traders kind of doing their thing, selling high, buying low, because the market does reverse here, as we can see. The market does push up, hits a high. I mean, breaks through it a little bit, but it does eventually come back down. Same thing over here to a degree, comes back up as well. So retail traders will enjoy the markets like this because when they're high, it comes down. When it's low, it comes up. But when it starts trending and making higher highs, this is when they're going to lose the money. This is when they're going to lose the money. So the retail sentiment probably does well here, and maybe more so in here. But when it's trending heavily, like I know for a fact in 2022 when we had this big trend, I remember a lot of people net long on pound, net long on euro, as we keep falling. So yeah, that's the time you kind of want to go against them. But when the market's a bit more neutral and up and down, I think they have a bit more luck on average. Because if retail traders on average look to sell markets that are overextended and buy markets that are overextended to the downside, then in ranges is when they're going to perform well. If you just look at it on in terms of logic, because ranges the market reverses, and trends it doesn't reverse as much, so it's always difficult to make money there. Yeah, that week they were buying aggressively. I wonder how big their stop losses is. Yeah, of course, with institutions, they'll be trading differently to us as well. It's good to know what they're doing. Okay, they're buying a lot of pound, buying a lot of euro. You can use that information and use that to your advantage. But of course, the way they trade will be differently. The positions they'll be trading will be different as well. The way they enter and exit the market will be different to us. So the main takeaway is what they do into particular currencies. That's what can be beneficial in terms of entering and exiting. That's not going to really help us. It's interesting to find out, of course, but yeah, it's not going to be a similar way to us at all. Any thoughts on Dollar Seat Chef? I haven't really been keeping up to tabs with Dollar Seat Chef. Not really a big fan of it because it's kind of just ranging at this low. It's at a pretty big level of support on the daily, weekly time frame at this low here. So yeah, I'm kind of looking for a bounce there for Dollar Seed Chef, but it does depend on USD a lot as well. If USD is going to be weak, it's going to be difficult for you Seed Chef to see some upside. I know we got Seed Chef interest rates on Thursday. So if Swiss is weak, maybe that's going to be the catalyst to get Dollar Seed Chef moving to the upside. But at the same time, dollar will have its say. But in terms of trading opportunities, I'm not really seeing much. I think if we can break the high, something like this, and that could be a nice little buy there. That could interest me there with Dollar Seat Chef because at that point we're reversing the low. Oh, didn't mean to do that. At that point, we're reversing the low here on the left. We're committing outside of this range, and we might find a nice retest for a buy. So that could look like a nice opportunity because I am looking for a big push up into this low here for Dollar Seat Chef long term, and then maybe another sell off again. That's kind of what I'm looking at. But for now, I do think upside is the way to go because we're doing such a poor job of breaking that support. So I do think we'll reverse. But to find a good entry, you need to look for something like this, and then take the buys there. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for Dollar Seat Chef, but definitely not a pair I'm interested in, to be honest. Let me know your thoughts on Dollar Seat Chef, what you're looking at as well. But that's what I would be keeping an eye on for. No stop loss. You wait until market comes in your direction. That's so true. That's true as well, Ben. That is true as well. That's true as well. That's actually not spoken about enough. Of course, I think that's in every kind of climate as well. You've always got the top half, not even half, the top, 10, 20%, of course, does very, very well. But majority of, retail traders, majority of hedge funds, don't do well. They don't really get to those um to see the success thereafter as well. So I think that's something to keep an eye on as well. But I think when you're looking at the hedge funds, the big institutions, you look at the ones that have been around the longest and have been forming through kind of multiple different climates. I think those are the ones to keep a close eye on. But yeah, that's definitely an important point as well. Yeah, they're not the holy grail. Tony Gold, NC Chef. Okay, I'll quickly go through that. That's true as well. That's true as well. Doesn't even mean they're expecting to go up or they're hedging their positions. That's true as well. But I think the most important take is what they're doing to the currency, because even if they are just hedging their positions, it's still a position at the end of the day. So there's still importance to it, but I can definitely understand your point. Okay, so we'll take a look at New Zealand CHF. So as I said with this one, we're trading at a nice high, but it doesn't look like price is respecting it very well. If price is going to break above this, then I'm looking at pushing to 0.854 for New Zealand CHF. This is where I think shorts will look good, but if we do break through this, there might be some nice buys on the way up. In my opinion, if we can hold on to this, there could be a nice sell, but it doesn't look like we're doing such a good job. Of course, things can change quickly. Maybe we leave behind a big wick and then price pulls down. We get nice bearish engulfing, something like that, and shorts look good again. There could be a nice opportunity to short New Zealand CHF there. If so, great. Looking for a swing back to the low again. If not, and price is breaking above this, then this is the area I'm looking for New Zealand CHF to push into. So yeah, these are the areas I'll keep my focus on: 0.53, 0.54, pretty much on the dot for both of them actually. So if we can hold, great, sells. If not, buys back into 0.54, and then looking for the sells from up there. That's very much how I'm looking to take advantage of this market. But yeah, it does look like price is trying to break above. If you're not already in the trade, you're looking for some signs that the market is rejecting, which hasn't quite come around yet. So keep a close eye on the development in that area. But if you are looking to trade New Zealand CHF as well, do keep an eye on the news for Swiss on Thursday at 8:30 in the morning, UK time, that is. We've got the Swiss interest rate decision. Rates are expected to fall. Swiss could be pretty weak after that, which could take New Zealand CHF to the upside as well. So that's something to factor in there too. That's true. COT data is lagging as well. I think it's useless. I mean, again, I don't use it either, to be honest. So my opinion of the COT data is not that far off yours. I think there is use to it, but I think it's better if you're on a bit more of a swing bias. If you're holding positions for longer and you're looking for bigger returns in terms of pips, at least. I think if you're day trading, COT data might not be the best because it's showing kind of what the longer term view or longer term action institutions are doing with certain currency pairs. So on a day-to-day basis, I don't think it's going to add too much. But if you're looking at the chart for a longer term, I think it can help with creating a bias or adding confidence to a bias. If you're bullish on Euro USD and the COT data backs it up, that's a nice confidence to have. Yeah, true. It's a different ball game. It's a different ball game, Simbonello. Yeah, they're trading different account sizes, and the way they would trade will be different as well. So there's a lot of factors to come into it. And again, I don't look at the COT data for my trading anyway. And again, I know people who look at it, but it's not the be all or end of their trading. It's like they'll do a lot of analysis first, a lot of fundamental analysis as well, look at many different aspects. COT data would just be one aspect of their fundamental analysis. So it would just be a layer of confluence, not really a big thing either. They'll look at a bunch of things. COT data is just an added thing they'll look at. So even if it is in their favor or against their favor, there'll be many other things they'll take into consideration as well. It does look like pound yen is seeing some nice rejection off that high, and that's where I'm looking to short from. So if that can keep up, nice bearish engulfing on the monthly. On the 4 hour, I'll look for my entry, stops above the high, a bit of wiggle room for some anticipated noise, and then we're looking for something like this. It's looking like a nice little position there for me. But yeah, I mean, pound yen is rejecting the high. This is the second level, which I said I was short from. It's rejecting, all right. So hopefully we can keep that up for the rest of the day. Get some nice bearish engulfings. I'll find some entries. If I do get an entry, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram. If not, then I won't let you know. But the MPEG is seeing a bit of downside. Euro yen struggling as well. Dollar yen having a nice reaction. Aussie yen, Swiss yen. So out of the MPEG, pound yen looks the best to me. So that's where my focus will be. But yeah, we're seeing some nice rejection there. So definitely going to keep a close eye. How is DXY doing? Still a little bit bearish, but in the range. So I'm not going to look too much into that. CHF still trying to push up high. How the dollar pair is doing? Yeah, kind of just awkward, really. Yeah, my focus is not dollar oriented at all this week. Maybe if gold has a bigger retracement back to this level, then yeah, that's the only one that looks pretty good to me. Other than that, I'm not a big fan. Simbonello price action is showing you current economic data. It's even ahead of actual news releases. To a degree, yes, because price action, of course, is all the information of everyone in the market. So even people who are anticipating rates to be cut or anticipating rates to be increased or currencies to do this or do that, people who are anticipating the market to do something will, of course, enter the market, buy and sell currencies, and that will, of course, affect price. So to a degree, we're essentially seeing people's opinions on fundamentals in the market already before data has been released, with these candlesticks as well. So it kind of factors that in, which is why I'm a big fan of high time frames, because high time frames kind of takes all into account, all that information. If you look at a 5-minute candle and compare that to like a weekly candle, of course, 5-minute, you can have a lot of buying, selling, and fluctuation in that. But a week, you got so much coming into that, so much information and the reason coming into that candle. So looking at the higher time frames is to a degree like my fundamental analysis. Of course, it isn't, but technicals can provide you a lot of information. I think it's still good to get a good fundamental knowledge, of course. But I think top-down perspective can just give you a lot of information as well. Okay, Mandy, we'll finish up on Aussie CHF for you. Sees go 300, 500 pips weeks later after I've closed position because of a pullback. Again, yeah. You're not going to know which position is going to go 300, 500 pips, but again, that's where it comes down to your trade management. Look back at your trades. Are you managing your trades optimally? If not, you can find that out by looking back at your trades. But yeah, the goal of trading is to maximize your winners and minimize your losses. So if you can improve that and improve the amount of pips you can get in your winners and reduce the pips you're losing losers, then that's the goal of it. But anyway, let me wrap things up with Aussie CHF. So Aussie CHF is in a similar situation to New Zealand CHF, which means it's at a nice high, which we could very much sell off from. I'll wait for us to kind of break out all of this consolidation here on the 4 hour. Nice little close there. That looks like a nice entry to me. Stops above the high. If we don't reject this and we do break above, then we do have a nice level over here, which is kind of like the neckline of this double top over here, which looks like a great place for a short as well, and a big move down. So those are the two areas that look good for shorts, 0.58 and 0.586. But I'm looking for a big move down for Aussie CHF at some point. Really big sell-off, nice rejection of that low. Now we're back at the high, looking for some shorts there. If not, 0.586 at that low. So looking for confirmations and entries in that area. But yeah, looking for a big move down. And that, guys, does bring us to the end of the stream. If you have found it useful, please, guys, do show some love. Drop a like on the stream. Drop a subscription. That's not right. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out the channel. And of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Guys, make sure you go head over to the Discord channel if you haven't done so already for Elevating Traders. Completely free to join. I've dropped the link to it at the top of the chat so you can't miss it. Discount opportunities will be available there for launch. So if you don't want to miss out, check it out. I will be live again tomorrow. Today's Tuesday at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day this week. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you guys are free, feel free to tune in, say hello, and we'll discuss some markets. But I'll keep you up to date if pound yen looks good and I do get a trade for that one. If not, I'm just going to keep tabs on it. I'm looking for the shorts and the yen pairs. So that's really my main focus this week. So yeah, hopefully I can get some more shorts on them. But until the next one, have a great day, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one.